Good morning. Do you take on energy from other people and get drained and just feel you take on emotional heavy stuff and you can't let it go? This is the second video in the Positive Energy Protection series. And I'm essentially doing a kind of a mini workshop here, a video series on what you can do to not take on energy from other people. And if you do, what you can do to release that energy and to let it go and to make your energy stronger and to essentially build up emotional energetic competence, so you become confident that you know what's your energy and what somebody else's energy, and they don't get mixed up. You could just be in your surroundings, not taking on stuff negatively, and essentially feeling really empowered whatever you do and wherever you go. And this series is about really understanding, how does this happen? How do we take on energy from other people? And how can we let energy go? How can we cleanse ourselves, ground ourselves, and do things to raise our level of confidence so that we don't take on energy from other people, so we feel more confident socially again, or at work we don't take our work energy home and ruminate stuff in our head so much. And when we talk about the understanding of how does this happen, then we're going to go into practical application, how we apply a lot of processes of things we can do before, during, and after interactions with other people or situations, and so that we can feel really, really good and empowered in life with the energy. And so I keep talking about energy here, and taking on emotional energy, taking on negative energy. Well, what is this energy thing? When I was doing workshops, I've done quite a few workshops of this series and other series of different topics, but with this one, I was talking about the energy, and people would finally say, well, somebody said, what is this energy you're talking about? And I just kind of assumed people knew what that meant. So I want to talk a little bit about the scientific understanding of how do we take on energy from other people? How does that happen? What is this energy we're talking about? This negative energy. And negative is just a perception, something we don't like, something that makes us feel not good. We're feeling just fine, and then we're around somebody and all of a sudden we just feel drained, we feel terrible, or we're around somebody and we feel really, really good. But it's this energy exchange that is happening. So I want to talk about that in this video, about the energy. And after this video, the next one, it'll be, this is video 2, and next video will be video 3 on how we actually take on energy from other people. But we need to understand that energy first. So it's really about energy waves. In a sense, everything's energy. Your thoughts, feelings, emotions, your body, other people, everything is energy. In a sense, it's patterns and frequencies of energy. But what does energy look like? We can't really see it. I mean, we see a tree, I'm looking around, I see forests and everything. It's hard to comprehend that this is all energy, matter and energy. It's all the same thing. And so a good way to see what energy looks like is look at the water, look at the ocean. You'll see waves. If you take a rock and plunk it out into a pond or a lake or something, you can see the waves rippling outward from where the rock hit the water. That's an energy wave. Okay, now if you think of a radio, they're energy waves, and it's a certain frequency that you might pick up 100 FM and then you dial it down to 90 FM and so on and so forth. And these are just different frequencies of energy. And the energy is everywhere. It's here. You don't really see it, but all of the radio station frequencies in the town that are being broadcast, they're all here. You have to really tune in to the frequency of what that station is to actually receive it and hear it. But it's waves of energy. And so now you turn up the volume and this wave of energy becomes taller and taller. That's an increase in the amplitude. It's just turning up the volume, the power, and then you turn the volume down and it's less and less and less. Okay, and so in a wave in the ocean, if you were to drop a stone and the waves go rippling out, and if you were to take another stone and drop it and the two waves interact, there's one wave going this way and the other wave going that way, and the waves interact with each other, and it affects one another, and it changes the energy. And this is, in a sense, we're going to talk more about this in the next video, how our energy gets affected by other people, because we're all expressing, receiving and expressing energy waves with the particular thought patterns that we're resonating in the moment. And so this is all energy. Now I want to talk a little bit about some examples. Sympathetic vibrations. Have you ever been around somebody and you felt, you sympathized for them? And you could feel their sadness and whatever happened to them, you sympathize. That's sympathy. You feel the sadness, and within you, you know what it feels like to feel like that. You understand that because you have that capacity within you. So they're kind of resonating or touching that capacity within you that understands what it feels like, and then you sympathize for them. It's like, oh, I feel kind of bad, or I feel compassionate for them, feel understanding for them, and you feel sensitive to that. And so if you think of a tuning fork, now this is related to sympathy. This is where the word sympathy came from, where it's sympathetic vibrations. Now a tuning fork, you tap it and it vibrates, and the tuning fork vibrates and it gives off a particular frequency. You can hold it up to your ear and you can hear it, and you hold it to your face or your body somewhere and you can feel the vibration of that tuning fork. You can feel it. And so it's vibrating in a certain pattern and frequency. And it might even have the letter G on it, or a different frequency on it, a different note. Now if you take another tuning fork that's of the same note, and you tap it, and and you tap that's going, and you can put it in a stick. You can look this up on YouTube, sympathetic vibrations with a tuning fork. So put that in a hole drilled in a piece of wood, and you tap that when you get it going. And the one beside it that's of the same frequency, it will start vibrating as well, because it's of that likeness. And so it will start resonating, and this is entrainment. So it picks up the frequency from the other one. But if it's a different frequency and they're not compatible, they won't actually resonate together, and the other tuning fork won't start vibrating. Now, that is called sympathetic vibrations. So when we're around somebody and they're feeling sad, in a sense, this is what happens. It vibrates the tuning fork within us, of sort of the emotional tuning fork of that vibration. We feel it, the capacity within us of that vibration that they're resonating at, the sadness, we feel that. And so it vibrates, and so we become in tune with that person. There's a spider web. And so this is all energy. And we're going to go into that a little more in the next video, of just how we take on energy from other people. But this is part of it. And if you're watching this and you have trouble taking on energy, chances are you are a highly sensitive person, somebody that just really feels a lot. Around other people, you're very emotionally empathic. You pick up a lot of energy from other people. It's important to really start to understand what's our energy and what's other people's energy, because as a highly sensitive person, this is about 20% of the population, where in the animal kingdom, for example, say in Africa or wherever the gazelles are, the gazelle, the one that is the most highly sensitive, it's the one that actually keeps the herd safe, because it's the one that notices that the lion is getting really close and getting ready to attack, and it alerts the other members of the group, the herd, that there's danger, and then they flee, and that's a protection mechanism. So highly sensitive person is somebody that's sort of more connected, in tune to your environment, and it's very difficult of being oversensitive to lights and sounds and movement. And this can also be very connected to somebody that's got a very overstimulated nervous system, where your sympathetic nervous system is, just being overtaxed and overrun, and you're in fight or flight a lot, and you're always on alert for danger and in worry state. So that can really, magnify being a highly sensitive person. But if that's you, where you pick up a lot of stuff really easily, you get really drained easily, this series will really help you a lot. So I want to just leave it at that today, just sort of understanding the energy, just opening up that perspective that everything is energy, including the energy we take on from other people. And there's a sort of a way we can look at it, and which is going to be helpful for the tools that I apply in all of the next videos to come in the practical application. This will help you when you have a little more understanding of how this happens, because then we can start to understand the solutions of what we need to do and how we can do things differently to keep from taking on other energy, and to set intentions and you know, things we can do before and during interactions, and when we notice we're taking on energy, what we can do at that moment in time to really lessen that or eliminate that. And then afterwards, if we end up, you know, bringing work home to keep that from happening, how we can sort of close that loop of what we were doing and let that energy go and be able to move from one thing to the other and transition in a healthy way. So my name is Arnie Peterson from Hypnotherapy Victoria, and this series, the Positive Energy Protection. Now below, there's going to be a link of things you can do, really being present with your environment and in tune with your body and in tune with your environment in a healthy way. Just being aware and calm and connected, present in the moment, it can be very helpful. So below there's a link to my mindfulness series, which is free, which will really help you a lot. And so if you really, you know, if you're enjoying this video, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. And the next video will be video 3, where we're going into a little more how we can take on energy from other people and situations, and to look at that a little bit. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I wish you an absolutely wonderful rest of your day.